Hi everyone, we are here today at Waxing Studio at Wall with the beautiful Kim Rea, owner and operator.
Yes,
Thank
perfect.
you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thank you. Welcome, Kate, and happy International Women's Day.
Yeah, it's a special day. I said
It's
on the
a
way in,
very
I didn't
special
even
day.
plan it that way, but it worked.
Yeah, it was great that it worked out that way. I didn't realize it either, so it's good.
And I love actually how International Women's Day is like really kind of taking on it's like every year it gets like bigger and just much more,
We have to support one another as women.
supportive,
Yes.
and
the
I love
best thing
that.
about being a woman and especially an entrepreneur is lifting other women, right? That's how we grow, is by lifting others.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I love that.
Yes. And speaking of which, so you have followed along for I guess a little bit now with Mom with Moms.
Yes.
And I've been following you.
Years, yes.
I know you posted something within the past couple months about your story about opening the waxing studio, and it touched me. I loved your story, and I'm excited to learn more about how you got started. But let's start with where you're from.
Okay, so I am from Brick. My mother went to school there. I went to school there. My children went to school there. So people don't think of Jersey Shore when they think Brick, but it is the Jersey Shore.
Yeah, totally.
3 boys. They all grew up lifeguards.
Oh, wow.
At the Jersey Shore. We have a beautiful beach there.
That is like, is that like a bit of the culture? Because I know some families here in the Toms River Bick area, like all like we live by the beach too. In Monmouth County, I go to Seagirt and stuff. But like we didn't, when I was growing up, we went to Sandy Hook, but it wasn't like that, like everyone's a lifeguard, everyone knows how to surf. It's very much that lifestyle in there, right?
It is 100%. Yeah.
Okay.
When people say their kids aren't used to the beach or the water, I said my kids were like 5 days old at the beach.
Yeah.
They were just raised at the beach, eating sand sandwiches,
Right.
that was part of it. They were going to like the beach, live the beach, and they became lifeguards. It is a great culture. It's a wonderful skill to have, as a first job, because it will get you a lot of places, and it's a great skill to have. And my boys, as a matter of fact, have used that skill. My older two, we were in Jamaica vacationing about 8-9 years ago. And if you look it up, brother lifeguards from Bricktown, it's all over social media. They saved someone in Jamaica.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely. It was amazing to watch because we were all there relaxing, and there you are in your element. Do you know what I'm saying? So they're relaxing, and as soon as, I hate to say it, we saw somebody float to the top, they are okay. But as soon as that person, my boys immediately into lifeguard mode.
Wow.
It was immediate. Yeah,
and
so it was really neat to watch. 100%.
And not only that, but just like the accountability at a young age, right?
At a young age, they were young.
Right.
They were, I think, 16 and 18 at the time.
Wow.
And they did it. They jumped right into it. To them, it was like breathing. It was normal. It was great to watch. So
you have 3 boys.
3 boys, and then, so that was my older 2. That's Liam and Sean.
Okay.
25, 23, and my 21-year-old is James, and he is at Wagner College playing lacrosse. The 23-year-old is home going to the mechanics program at Brookdale, and the 25-year-old is serving our country on the USS Eisenhower, currently stationed in the Red Sea.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you for service.
You,
So how did you get started with Waxing Studio?
Let's see. I have always been in this business since I was 17. I've loved being in it. And in this business, when I was young and started, waxing was not even that popular. It wasn't a thing. And so I started doing hair, but then realized hair was not my thing. At least I liked ripping it out. So I cut hair for a while, didn't like it, did nails, didn't like it. Then I fell into skincare. I went to an Aveda Institute and really fell into skincare and loved that as well. I stayed home for 10 years to raise my boys. When I came back to work, I worked at a spa. And they said, do you want to do everything? And I did. And I also became a licensed massage therapist. I went to massage school. So I did massage and facials there. But during that time at home, waxing had taken off. And once I dipped my first wax stick in, that was it. I knew that's where I needed to be. I was comfortable. It felt natural. And it's true, it wasn't work to me anymore.
It wasn't intimidating.
Not in any way.
Really just, you felt like this is how I can do to.
And you make it, and it's very important because, like I say, I can train anybody to wax, but you have to have someone who can make somebody feel comfortable. It's a very intimate service.
Right.
And so that is a huge part of it. And it clicked right away for me.
Right.
I was able to perform a service that is intimate on people, but make them feel comfortable while doing it.
Yeah.
And it's a huge part of it.
And make them feel good.
Confident.
Totally.
Right? So that's really important.
It's hard to find a good waxer.
Yeah.
I've gone to a threading person, and I had one woman who was like working on my brows for 2 years, and they did look good. She was always yell at me. She's like, no plucking in
We
between.
tell you, throw out the tweezers. Don't touch them. You're not touching them. We want you to leave every hair for us.
And then she left, and I couldn't find her. I want to start coming.
Back to the waxing studio thing, and then we'll touch base on that again as well. But then I fell in love with waxing. I left the spa. I went to corporate, right? You go to a big franchise. And so I stayed with corporate for a while, and I was their corporate trainer.
Okay.
And so then after being with them for about after 6 or 7 years, my husband said, let's do it. And he backed me, and he said, we're going to do it. My boys were younger. And he said, we need you home close to the boys still, because you're going to get a lot of phone calls. And sure enough, Mom, I forgot my lunch. Mom, I forgot my uniform. So he was right. I needed to stay close to home.
Too,
I have
right?
to balance.
Yeah.
I wanted to still have the balance of starting my entrepreneurship and doing what I love and growing it, and yet still being a mom.
Right.
And they still needed me home at that point.
Yeah.
So it's a balance that we chose a location close. But as I was telling you briefly before, I did start out in this area when I was 17. So I knew that I always wanted to get back to this area. And so before I took my very first client in Bricktown, I walked through that door and said, within 5 years, I will be back in Wall. 5 years to the month I signed this lease for this space.
Wow.
So I believe in putting it out, letting it marinate and manifest, and it will come back. You know, put your nose down, focus on what you have to focus on, and get it done, and it will happen.
Yeah, I was speaking to a colleague the other day just about that, and it's funny sometimes even like not even the specific manifestation, but like, did you ever like have an idea of maybe what your future looked like, and to have like almost like a small like picture in your head where like
Absolutely.
This is where, and it's funny, like I've always thought about like this one office in particular and women being there.
Yes.
And I didn't really even know why 10 years ago, way before, you know.
Right. But and congratulations to you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Because this is a very big week for you as well.
Yeah.
New office space. So.
But yeah, it's really funny when you first hear about manifestations and stuff. It sounds like
people think, oh, what is that?
Yeah.
But it's 100% powerful.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yes, and again, so I also own another company. I'm one of the founders of the Network Effect. And that's networking. And again, when you realize you think everything's so vast and big, but when you start networking and break it down, and you really realize that your reach is bigger with other people and lifting other people.
And that's very true. You know, like I struggle with this, and I'm sure a lot of entrepreneurs do, about like being control freaks and thinking that you can do everything on your own and that like I'll do it better and stuff like that. But when you are leaning on other people and also like, you know, helping, the power of community is immense, and it pushes you to the next level.
100%. It's so important, like you said, to grow.
Yeah.
You know, to grow, you need that. And there's days where, as I'm sure yourself, you feel like Wonder Woman and you feel like you can do it all.
Right.
And there's days where you feel you have that imposter syndrome. And it is good to surround yourself with others who will constantly push you and challenge you, because that's where you find true growth.
And teach you new things. Right?
And like you said, I'm a great waxer. It's my thing. I never set out to be an owner, but then I fell in love with it. Like you said, we can't do everything. So you have to learn to delegate it, let go, like you said, of the reins a little bit, and know what you are good about, and surround yourself with people that play on them.
Let's talk about being a business owner. We talk on the podcast a lot about family healthcare series with Hackensack Meridian. So I have a lot of providers and physicians that come on and talk about, you know, their background and stuff like that. And sometimes like running a practice is, you know, they went to school to be, you know, an OBGYN.
Right.
They could, you know, do C-sections with their eyes closed. Hopefully not, but but they all say that, right? Like,
running a business is totally different.
Yeah, I can straighten teeth, you know, any day of the week. But running my practice, in med school, they talk about this a lot too. There's no class about financial, you know, operations, the back end, right? So what's that been like for you?
So it's what you say. It's so funny that you say they can do a C-section with their eye closed. If you're a great waxer, you can take Sasquatch, you know, tap a tree, and you can make him, you know, you can use sap and get someone hairless. Right. So if you're a great waxer, again, you can wax with anything and get hair off anybody. But it doesn't help you run the business.
Totally.
And you can be the best waxer, but without knowing how to run the business, you're going to lose it. So part of what has helped me is I did start out I learned what I liked about corporate, and I learned what I didn't like, and what I didn't like I left behind, and what I did like and thought it was important I brought with me, and that was running the back end. Their process and their procedures are important. You know, you want to run the back end like that, but you want to still have fun up front and make people feel comfortable and warm. The growing pains is learning how to grow the business, even social media.
It's a new world.
That's a new world for me and my age. It's a huge new world. But I'm not. But thank you. I've had people push me out of my comfort zone, and so that for me has been huge. But it works, and so I think when you find something that works, that is how you grow, and that's what will help you through the growing pains. And
does social media help you grow your business?
It's been immense. So it's been incredible. It has grown. I would say word of mouth is golden.
Okay.
Then Google, but social media 100%.
So that's kind of like a pillar, almost like a
those
interesting.
Three things definitely, and Facebook as well as Instagram, and then. You know, when I don't want to say it because we'll do it whenever, but we're getting ready for some other new exciting things here. So like I said, we'll have to have you back to talk about that. So it's just constant growth. And things like you said, out of waxing, other things, content creation, podcasts, all those other things to just help your business and help those around you as well.
And help people,
Yes, and help the
without a doubt.
community. That's what I'm
Right.
saying. How do you reach back out to the community? How do
Yeah.
you help everyone,
Right.
and help yourself grow by helping others?
I think that's definitely the key is to, just always be conscious of,
Right.
the value that you're giving and
Yes.
giving back, which is, I guess, much more, we're more aware of that now, I think, than ever. So.
And like you said, I think a sense of community is amazing, and I feel that here without a doubt. Being in this complex and all the other businesses, we've done even events here. Last year, we did an ice cream social in the plaza. So we love reaching out to community. It's great. And right now I'm working with the Girl Scouts to do a cookie drive to send over to the troops overseas.
The Girl Scouts of the Jersey Shore, they're an incredible, they're really like unbelievable what they do.
So it is.
It's a very well-oiled machine over there.
I think that you need community. That's my answer, is community.
That's
you
great.
You can't do it alone.
So a common theme that we are talking about right now is being a working parent. If you're a working mom, I've talked a little bit about, my background and how I was a young single mom, and then, fast forward to a decade later when I was newly married and had a daughter and, no longer a single mom, but different, I guess, economic environments and, challenges and all of which, and now as a business owner, I've seen a lot of different circumstances in my career, and all three kind of, have different challenges, different kids, right? Different personalities. But it's hard, and that grind of, the balance every day, or maybe no balance, right? But just like each day and each week is different. But what has been the most challenging part for you as a working mom?
So I would say having to try to be both places at once, which you can't do. I think you realize, and again, my boys play sports and they were lifeguards, like I said. So one went on, he plays sports for college, but all through high school, they grew up playing sports as well. I was always there. I was lucky to be able to be home for 10 years.
Right.
So when I had to come back to work and shift, it really was, how can I still feel like I'm there for them, but yet I'm working? And so thankfully, and I'm lucky, I chose a career where I can try to do both, and I can maybe sometimes say I have to leave a little bit earlier this day. I can make it up other hours. But I tried to be there for the really important things. I did miss some games. What they really also realized was mom is more than just a house. Mom also is going to run a career. And so I hope that they realize that there is a balance. I'll miss a game, but mom is working and doing her career, but she'll be at the next game or she'll come after this.
Right.
So I think it's important for them to realize too, a strong woman can do both, and you can balance both. And you can have both. You don't have to give up one to do the other, and I'm a true believer in that.
So were you nervous when they were younger, when you started your business, that maybe they would be upset that you're not going to be as present?
Yes, I was thinking that. But like I said, if anything, it turned out to be the opposite. I think they're stronger boys because of it. Right. They became more independent.
And do they tell you that now?
Yes, they're so proud of me.
Yeah.
Even this morning, oh, Mom, you look great in your suit. Go get him. My husband, too. So I want them to see that part of a woman. I think it's important.
Right.
I tell this to everybody. I thrive in being an owner-operator, and I love being here, and my sandbox is the wax room. I never want to step out of it. I love being a waxer. I love being a mom. I didn't love being a housewife. It wasn't my thing.
Yeah, if you're not getting really involved in the kids' school stuff or whatever, then there's not a whole lot to do.
I did for 10 years. I did it, but and I think being a housewife's important. I'm not knocking that in any way. Please, when the youngest goes back to school, I will go back to work. The day he went to kindergarten, I came and started working again already. So it was important to me to be home, and I'm so glad I was able to do that and given the opportunity to do that and be able to be class mom and do the cupcakes and the volunteer work and all that. But I also could not wait to get back and dig my heels in and get back to work.
Yeah, I can totally relate to that. I'm very much a worker bee. I was begging my mom at 14 to get me working papers.
Absolutely.
I've always loved to just get out there and
same thing. My boys started working young. So I think when they see that, it's important. And you bring that home to them, that you can have a balance. Totally. You could be a great mom or a great dad, make the games, and still go to work.
Yeah. So I want to touch on the post that I was talking about earlier that I saw. I don't know if you know exactly which one, but you were talking about how when you started the business that there were some people that were maybe not 100% supportive, or were really really. And I love that because you really just talked about how you believed in yourself and you
100%.
Went for it and you did it, and now it's not to be haha, but at the same
time,
I'll
never forget the phone call of the person. So I'm sitting actually again at the field waiting for my boys to get out of practice, and I'm sitting in the car and the phone rings, and she says to me, "Hey, I hear, Roma, you're starting your own business." And this was after I had left corporate, and I had 3 months where I was building the space out. And I said, I am, and I'm really excited. And what I wanted to hear back was, great, I can't, because there was a lot of people behind me, obviously. And she said to me, you'll never be able to do it. You're not strong enough. You're not mean enough. You're not tough enough. They will walk all over you.
Oh my gosh.
And so I said,
she was your friend?
Yes. And so, but she meant it, I think, as like, watch your back. You're going to be, watch your back.
Like protecting you almost.
Protect yourself, watch your back. You don't have to run a business that way. What I want to do is surround myself with people that are easygoing and nice. You have to set those.
You're not yelling at them for not coming to work at 9:05
Family
or whatever.
First, that's what I say. It's flexible. I didn't want to have that corporate feel. I'm in the trenches with them. Not that I'm their boss. And so that's why I want to make them feel.
Right.
And so at the end of the day, that person who had said that, I went ahead and did it anyway, and she eventually ended up actually working for me. She does not anymore. She went on to go build her own. So I think it's funny, like I said, it all comes full circle.
So maybe you kind of inspired her,
100%.
right?
So I do agree with that.
Yeah.
Like, I actually helped someone who didn't believe I could even do it.
Right.
You are going to have days where you believe in yourself and don't believe in yourself. And that's why it's important also to surround yourself with people that the days where you are doubting yourself, you've got people in your corner saying you can do it.
And that's why it's so important to, the work that we're both doing, right? To connect and network with people and talk about our stories. And I kind of always knew I wanted my own business. I've talked about this on my podcast too, about my husband, how he's a very straight shooter. There's no filter. He just says what he's, is thinking, which is annoying at times. But he said to me at one point, I always wanted my own restaurant. I thought I did. I don't anymore. I came from hospitality. I worked in that world for a very long time. I thought that I wanted that life. I want my own restaurant one day. And he said, you have to stop saying that because you're never going to do it. You're just talking, right? But it really came from like this, I didn't have a pool of people around me who, they weren't not lifting me up. I just wasn't like around people that were like starting their own businesses. And like my family really wasn't like that. So it wasn't, it just didn't seem possible. I essentially did not believe in myself, right? And if you are not in that mindset of like pushing, you're not going to do it, right? But if you're showing, others that it's possible and talking about it and like really taking actionable steps to get it done, it's life changing.
It is 100%. And I think that's the difference. There's so many people all the time that will say, I want to. You have to just do it. It will never be the right time or the right day, right? You just have to do it.
Yeah. And then you figure it out because you don't want to lose it.
Correct. When someone knocks and that door opens, you open it.
Yeah.
And you see what that opportunity is going to be. And even if you're afraid, you walk through that door and you figure it out as you're going.
Totally.
And that's what I think is important. And like you said, I also did not grow up with entrepreneurs.
Right.
But I thank God I have the support of my husband, of my children, and of other people. And with that, you're able to become, an entrepreneur and surround yourself with, and then, it is true what they say, you also want to surround yourself with other like-minded people. Because that does
push you
100%,
forward.
Absolutely. And that's where the network effect came in. I started going to these networking groups.
Okay.
And then being around all those entrepreneurs, it was the high you got leaving that. It was amazing.
Yeah, you can't wait to connect with this person and look at all the cards that you have and all of that.
It was great.
Yeah.
Because at first, my goal to go to those networking effects was to get just clients for the waxing studio.
Okay.
And then within 6 months, it's so much more.
Right.
Like you said, I love the whole networking aspect of it. And I wanted to start networking people together. And that's when, again, it manifested. I remember the week I sold Brick, and I wasn't thinking to network, I was just enjoying it. But the week I sold Brick, moved everyone over here. Again, my phone rang. One of my clients who you just met from Stay Branded, they called me and she said, I've seen you at the networking things and one of your clients, she said, let's do it. And my husband and I were just talking about it that week. And I said to my husband, you're not going to believe what's on the phone, what's happening. And we started it. And again, ultimately and organically it grows the businesses, but it's so much more than that. You need that support.
Yeah. And, one person refers the next. And,
and the community and the support. It's so much more, like I said, than even the referrals. It's the support of one another.
Oh, totally. Of knowing, because like you said, you'll have those days where your self-doubt and imposter syndrome is huge and it's raining out and everything sucks.
I can't even pick out an outfit, let alone run a business.
And you have to be like your own hype girl. And it's
like that.
But if you have people, and that's like one of, social media gets bashed a lot, but that's one of the real benefits to it, is like having that even like a little weird community on your phone, right, of people. what your plans are for this year. I know you have some things
So
that you
yes,
said you
I don't want to
mention,
give too
but
much
yeah,
away
that's okay.
because, again, I want to keep a cliffhanger because I want to, maybe come and be on your podcast and vice
Totally.
versa.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have some really fun, exciting things in the work. One of the things I love to do is an educator as well. So that's a little hint. And I might be, watching some podcasts of other people as well. So
Okay.
that's a little hint. And, again, sometimes when things happen, someone is no longer here that was important to me and that was really a backbone of the company. And
Okay.
she's no longer here, and that was a big hit for me, and it was hard and it was difficult. But again, after I got through that, someone else came to my door that opened so many other doors for me that I didn't realize.
Oh, interesting.
Right? So she is the one, Gigi, now, who, if you see my social media and not, she's the one that is saying to me, Kim, I know what it takes, let's do it. So she's the one that whenever I get comfortable and say, okay, we did great growth this week, we did X, Y, and Z, Gigi goes, no, you don't, up, let's go. So she's always behind me pushing me. And that's important to have someone like that in your corner.
I love that, like a muse.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's great.
I love that.
I'll say, Gigi, are you sure we should be doing it? Oh, Kim, it's trending. Go ahead. Okay. She said so. So she's been great. And again, I just have a lot of, we together are working on some new fun projects and some new services, for the business here, besides just waxing. We do dermaplaning, because again, we're both estheticians as well as cosmetologists. So dermaplaning, and we love the brows as well.
Oh.
So yeah, brow transformations. And so yeah, just working on some of those really exciting new things that we can't wait to tell people. And I'm working on a collaboration, like I said, with Surfsale. So working on a few collaborations and a few things to bring to the studio and to our guests. So we're very excited.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Yes.
Well, it's a beautiful space. I can't wait to come back and go into the facial room. That is very tranquil. It's like you walk in and it's very...
So relaxing.
So relaxing.
Absolutely, yes.
Love that. Where can everyone find you?
So waxingstudio@wall.com. And then the actual physical address is 1985 Highway 34 in Wall. And it's right on Wall Circle Plaza.
And you can book an appointment online?
You can book an appointment online.
Okay.
If you go right to Waxing Studio at Wall, there's a few different venues. You can do it that way. And you can call any way you want. And I'll usually include the link right in any post or Instagram so you can click and go right there.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, perfect.
Well, thank you. I can't wait to connect more, to see you at the summit.
And can't wait to meet everyone. And I cannot wait to go to the summit. We're super excited for that.
Us too.
Yes. Thanks so much
for having
coming
us.
in, Kate. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.